Your Life and Sex Island, Chapter 4, Illustrious Immigration, page 90. So yes, we have the will, the means, and the power to destroy the economies of the states to our immediate south, and in fact, we did. But is there more? Yes, they were largely agrarian societies. One of their subsistence crops, which they developed and we copied and improved on, is maize, which of course we know as corn. Corn is our most subsidized crop. Much has been written about how we dumped corn and damaged middle Americans' economies. For example, William Buckner, Science, The World, Republican Libertarian Constitutionalist, syndicated columnist. Quote, "Farm subsidies let the state tell farmers how much and what food to grow. Unfortunately, this subsidy, which is repeated in Europe, has the effect of flooding the market with corn and artificially reducing the price of corn and all crops in the third world. The results are that third world farmers are sunk deeper into poverty since their labor's value is reduced, depressing their economies and forcing them to rely on imported food for much of their subsistence, lending itself to malnutrition and in some areas illegal farming." End quote. Another example, Open Source shows aired David, April 13, 2006, with Christopher Linden, Christian broadcaster. Title, "The Children of the Corn Subsidies." Quote, "In our recent immigration show, our guests noted that thousands of illegal Mexican immigrants are crossing into the U.S. because following the NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement, Canada, Mexico, and USA agreement, cheap, subsidized American corn has flooded the Mexican market. These one-time farmers just can't compete against U.S. corn on their soil, so they often end up picking fruit on ours." Continued quote, "It's one of the many unintended consequences that follow from cheap corn, and it got us talking that night in the control room. We realized that corn, or corn subsidies, is one of those topics that often comes up in odd contexts. When you think you're talking about illegal immigration, or diabetes, or energy policy, or environmental degradation, or presidential politics, it turns out that you're also, and often inevitably, talking about corn." End quote. There have been lots of stories like the ones above. I expected to agree with them. When I checked the numbers, here's what I came up with. In Iowa, the state with the largest corn subsidy, from 1995 to 2005, the subsidy was $9.9 billion. That's $990 million per year average. Iowa corn production in 2005 was 2.2 billion bushels. That's 45 cents subsidy per bushel. 56 pounds per bushel, 0.8 of a penny subsidy per pound. Less than a penny per pound. $2.50 price per pound. 0.3% subsidy. Less than 1/3 of 1%. I can't believe that that is enough to bankrupt Mexican farmers and drive them north, but I could be wrong. NAFTA was passed in 1993. From Wikipedia, quote, "Trade has increased dramatically among the three nations since NAFTA. In the period of 1993 to 2004, total trade between the United States and its NAFTA partners increased 129.3%, 110% with Canada, and 100.9% with Mexico. Yet total trade between the United States and non-NAFTA partners increased 123% in the same period, a roughly similar figure." End quote. But American-Mexican immigration began way before 1993, so certainly NAFTA didn't start it. The argument that NAFTA increased Central American immigration is very weak. If you are a subsistence farmer, primarily living off the produce from a small farm, then what happens in the global market is irrelevant to you. Neither NAFTA nor subsidized corn is the cause of the massive immigration from Central America. We have to lay the biblical exodus from Central America at the feet of poverty caused by gangster governments in turn caused by our foreign policies. However, this does not exonerate our incredibly stupid farm program analyzed elsewhere. It is still possible that our super efficient farming methods reduce the price of corn to the point that we could be accused of dumping corn and other agriculture products. That possibility may, in fact, have helped to destroy their economies. But alternatively, importing cheap foodstuffs from the United States may have improved their living standards. That seems most likely to me. I'm for free trade, and if someone can produce corn more cheaply than I can, I'll find something else to do. Purchase the book now by clicking on the link in the description below.